will
Yeah.
come up like, I remember this beer as a kid. I've done several things like that. Come over and have a brew day with, with somebody, and then a month later we're bottling 50 bottles of beer so they can
Wow.
take it home with them. So it's typically a 5-gallon batch is what I do nowadays. I have the capability to do 10, so um, I've converted a couple commercial kegs over to fermenters. I've got a 7.5 and a 15, and so that allows me to do a 5 or 10 in under pressure.
Interesting. Yeah, you'll have to send me some pictures of that. I've not seen a commercial keg converted. Like I just have the regular ball lock kegs that I just use like a spunding valve. I don't know if I ever showed you the spunding valve I have. I have like the Swiss Army knife spunding valve. It's not cheap by means. It's like $80 or something like that. But I finally used it for what I want to. I actually ferment pressure 2 vessels at one time. Oh, I can do like 100 of them. I can just daisy chain them all together, right? As long as it's the same PSI that I want to use. So I did that. So my next experiment's going to be, because according to Tron, the guy that made it, and I'll have to drop his stuff down the description, you can take that off gas, which is just CO2, and start carbing another flat keg, right? So I could take that off and put that in there. So like I said, it's just a Swiss Army knife. It can do so many little things. You just have to buy out the little components, which is just go to Home Depot. That's all I did. Just found like the tubing and connections and all that kind of fun stuff. And like that's been fun. Like that's been a fun little thing to go play around with. So I'm kind of excited to do more of that myself.
The ones that I've got, I've take the stave
Okay.
um, out of them, and I've used a 2-inch tri clamp with it's got the just the ball locks on top of it converted over.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
works just like a standard ball lock,
Yeah.
keg, and I use I got a floating dip tube inside of it. It's Float
Mm-hmm.
It, I think is the
Yeah, that's
brand
what
that
I
I
have.
use.
Yeah. Yep.
And I've got that, and then I've got cannot remember the little spunding valve that I'm using. I can't remember the brand on it, but it's pretty straightforward, and it's the same thing. You set it at a certain PSI. It's got a gauge
Mm-hmm.
on it,
Yep.
and I usually come back and check it, and I try to keep it somewhere around 12 while I'm fermenting, and it's kind of nice to come in and after it cleans up to have a good clean beer that's pre-carbed and pretty
Yep.
much ready to go as soon as it's over with. So
Yep. Yeah, I typically have to purge mine. I find mine just to be a little too carbed. Like I usually try to serve mine between 8, 9 psi, and around 12, it's like it's really foamy. So I usually just I'll purge the keg and then I'll put my gas on it and let it fill back up to like 8 or 9 psi and kind of go from there. That seems to work for me. But I also wonder. I've not done any research on it. I probably should one day. I keep my CO2 tank inside my keezer,
yeah,
so
I do too.
I don't know if that cold temperature messes with the regulators at all or the actual pressure inside the CO2 tank itself. It's like, because it's cold, it's at 30, I think it's 35 degrees, 36 degrees, something like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
about
keep my
where home
keys are
run.
at. So I don't know if that kind of throws things off a little bit. So I don't know if it's actually 9 psi or if it's higher than 9 psi. I have no idea.
I know
Would
if
like
I
to put it
try
on
to
the
set
outside.
mine at 15, like for my carbonation values,
Yeah.
if we're going to do something,
Uh-huh.
mine are way, way over carved at
Yeah.
15.
There's a
At 12 is usually pretty good for mine, and I'll
okay.
have to purge, like before I serve, I'll drop my pressures down to at 6 or 8, somewhere in
6 or
there.
8.
But
Yeah.
I've got bigger hoses on my dispensers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of short, so there's a pressure change there that I have to account for when I go to dispense. So
I'm kind of wondering, and it'd be nice to talk to a scientist about this. I'm trying to line one up. Um, the elevation differences. So I wonder
that's
if
gonna
if
matter.
I'm a higher elevation, I'm a Unicoi, so I'm like between 12 and 1600, right? Something like that. I'm not sure what yours is where you're at.
We're around 1100 here.
Okay, so I'm kind of curious if that difference in elevation changes that as well too. That's a good
Metric
question
pressure
there.
matters. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not a cooking show, but it's pretty much like, no bake cookies.
Yeah.
Depending on your pressure, it's not going to set up, or you got to boil it a little longer or whatever.
True.
It's that kind of thing.
True. Yeah, that's